keep saying allowance. I don't even know what that is. I never get an allowance in my life. But anyway. Hey guys, it's Pamela Freelo. So as you can tell from the title of the video, today's video is, financial advice more for the young adults, but this is something that's also applicable to everybody. So be sure to stay tuned. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for the support. And if you're new, welcome. Please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and help get this channel to the 5K mark. So with that being said, let's get straight into the video. So I would like to say that my finances are a bit in order now, but that was not always the case, especially like I think the first 2 years or the first year and a half after being out of like college or starting work, I made a lot of like financial mistakes, and there's like a lot of financial mistakes that I made in undergrad and since I was 18 that I had to fix. So this video is mainly, I spent a couple years trying to fix my mistakes, so this video is to hopefully save you from those couple years. And sometimes it's something that it takes people even longer, because I feel like it took me 2 years because I have a more like financial background, but I feel like that's something that could possibly take you longer to fix. And if you kind of just avoid these things in the beginning, then there'll be nothing for you to fix. And then also like you can have a much better head start. So these tips are mainly something that I did myself and something that I wished I had known or somebody had told me growing up. So I hope, like, I'm all for like having a good time but also being financially mindful. So with that being said, I would say the first tip is for you to open a bank account. Like, let's say you have, small, like, even if it's as low as your allowance, the thing about money is when you physically have it on you, you end up spending it on something. So, and also like once you have the account, I feel like you have this internal motivation to like, keep money in there and keep saving, keep growing. And that way you can help better your manage more with the whatever the bank have with your online tools to help you do that. So I would say one main thing is it's like, even if you have to like, get a joint account with your parents or something, but an account that's like all you, like you manage, you put your stuff in there. So even if it's just like something as basic as like cutting somebody's yard or like, something that brings in any little money, you can just go ahead and throw that in there. Because if you physically have that money on you, like you're more likely to spend that money. So with that being said, another tip, and this is something that I personally did, and I wish I didn't do it, and that's because if you're applying for student loans and stuff, don't request a lot more money than you know that you need. I was like always like ready and happy for my refund, and then ended up having to spend it on, I don't even remember what I spent those refunds on. So I would say if you have to do student loans, take as much as you need, because that extra money that you want to use on travel and other stuff, there's gonna be interest on it, is gonna be like, it's just basically not gonna help you in the end to have all those extra thousands and thousands of dollars that you didn't necessarily need. Because then what's gonna happen is you're gonna be sitting in my shoes right now and you wouldn't even remember what you spent that money on. So I would say if you have to get student loans, be mindful on exactly what you need and be sure to get that and don't exceed that. With that being said, the next tip is to also be mindful of how much money that you're spending on your credit card. So I would say that don't purchase anything on a credit card that you know that you can't afford, and don't overuse your credit cards. Like especially for travel. Like I am all for travel. As you can see on this channel, I like going places and all this stuff. But at the same time, travel is not a need that you have to keep doing all the time if you can't afford to do it. So I would say don't spend so much money on your credit card that you can't you won't be able to afford. So of course, like, live your life, have your hot girl summer and stuff, but just make sure that if you're gonna take one huge trip a year and that's what fits into your budget and everything, then do that. But don't be like trying to go out or fly out with every single one of your friends all over the place when you know that you can't afford it, because that's something that you're going to end up regretting later. So travel, have a good time, but please be super mindful and be realistic in your travel. Another main thing that I would say is to recognize your needs from your want. So you might need new clothes, or you might need clothes, but you might not need a designer clothes, like, you know, designer clothing and stuff. You might just want that. So there's like a huge difference in price point and a huge difference in need and want. And of course, I'm not saying, I'm personally not much of a designer person, but I'm not saying it's a bad thing to do that. Like, if you've worked and if you have the funds to, like, you know, afford yourself one little thing or whatever, that's perfectly fine. Do that. But, you know, if your funds are not quite there, then there's no need for you to be like using a credit card or going out of your way just so you can, you know, grab a designer item. And it's not the same. It's not even just that for clothing. It's like in everything that you do, sit there and realize, especially if you're about to spend an arm and a leg or something out of budget, be sure to sit there and think, is this something that I really need, or is this something that I just want? So we have to be very mindful in spending a whole lot of money on things that are just wants and we don't necessarily need that. So that's something that we have to be mindful over. And with that being said, the main tip I would give is to make sure that you budget your funds. I don't care how much money is coming in, whatever, how little it is, just be sure to sit there and be mindful of, okay, like this month I have this coming in. I have this coming in from my allowance, this coming in from, I keep saying allowance. I don't even know what that is. I never get an allowance in my life. But anyway, as I know people do. So this much in allowance, this much in, like, you know, working a few hours here or doing whatever. Like, sit down and see all that amount of money you're expecting to be coming in monthly, and then also the amount of money that you have going out, whether it's like your monthly subscriptions, whether you're responsible for paying your own phone bill, or, you know, whatever your monthly expenses are. And then be sure to, you know, make sure that it's balanced, make sure the expenses are much lower than the money that you have coming in. And if it's not much lower than that, then be sure to figure out how to cut your expenses so you can have money to save at a young age. Also, I'll be coming back to talk more in detail about budgeting. So be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, if you found this helpful, please be sure to hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. Thank you guys so much. And if you have any questions at all or need any assistance, please sure to comment below, and I'll also link my email below for any questions at all. So thank you guys so much, and bye guys.